So I'm recording this podcast from jail. My speeding ticket did not go as planned. Okay, guys, I'm just kidding. It feels like I'm in prison every time I sit across from Corrie, but we're gonna make it work.
It's been a 32-year prison sentence. But I will give you an update on what happened to Heather.
Don't get off on parole.
I'm her parole officer. What happened to Heather was she went into court. The judge that day was having a bad day. She was giving everyone exactly what they deserved. So Heather's lawyer asked for a continuance, and it will not be heard until January.
Kind of missed out the part where I did all the good deeds, and the police officer agreed with the lawyer to drop all the charges. It was just the judge who was having a bad day. So much so that when the police officer and the lawyer and myself walked into the hallway, the police officer was like, "Whoa, she's just having a bad day." So thanks, police officer, for making me have to deal with her bad day. But yeah, the judge was so mad. Raj, the lawyer, the saga.
Yeah.
He was so late. So he told me to meet him at 10:30 in the courtroom. Mm-hmm. He did not show up till 11?
Yeah,
he told me to meet at 9:30. He didn't show up till 10.
Yeah.
So at 10 he comes in and says, "I'm so sorry. Can I get your papers?" So I said, "Here's everything you asked me." It's like, it's like perfectly filed. I even had like a directory.
Raj made Heather print everything off.
He didn't. His printer wasn't working. Okay. Then he leaves. And I was standing in the courtroom, and the judge says, next to the docket, Heather Miracle. And I'm like, "Your Honor, I'm so sorry. I had an attorney. Even if I want to represent myself, he has all my papers." So she's like, "Yeah, that's okay. I'm going to set it aside." But he was, again, another 40 minutes late to that. So we were literally the last person. I watched the court case. Like, I don't know, a lot of people at court had never been to court probably because they were law-abiding citizens. But you have three options. You can guilty, not guilty, or no contest. If you go and say guilty, exactly what's on the ticket is what you'll get. Mm-hmm. A lot of people didn't realize that. They said, this one lady gets up there, she said, I'm guilty. I did it. But I want the court to know that I really had to go to the bathroom.
I've been there, girl.
So, and then not guilty means you have to go to a baby trial, which is just really, you get a chance to talk, but it sounds so intense that most people don't do it. And then if you say no contest, it's essentially admitting guilt, but you don't want to accept the charges at the way they're written. So not many people say that that's what you need to say.
Yeah.
But because Raj was so late, we were the last person. Like, I watched all the trials. I watched all the people who just absolutely destroyed their lives by saying they were guilty and had to go to the bathroom. And then when we went to file the continuance to the next court date, she was like, "Absolutely not. You're late to Raj. I'll see you in January." Yeah, okay. Nothing but quality.
The endless saga. Can't wait to see if Heather makes it out in 2020.
I guarantee you that man, he was representing about 4 other people that day. Every other lawyer was representing maybe 2. So I guarantee
Up your prices.
Up your prices. And he was a rest.
Well, everyone, welcome to Baking It Down with Sugar Cookie Marketing. We are a internet Facebook group of almost 27,522 strong.
That's really crazy.
And Heather, if someone is just tuning in for the very first time, besides hearing your criminal history, what are they in for?
You're in for my criminal history, which is the intro. Then we swing by the marketing minutes, which is something a little bit more marketing focused. Business of baking is more of that brain work. Why am I tired? Why am I frustrated? Why isn't my business working? Why do I feel stuck? Things like that. Then course coverage, because Corrie and I launched a course, and a lot of people are doing a lot of learning. And we want to make you jealous, so you sign up, right? Good marketing.
Amen.
Then we go to voicemails, which I think we have 1 voicemail, 1 text. Group stuff, got some interesting developments there.
I cannot wait to hear.
Heat sealers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And then Twinterests and sponsors coordinating to go check the mail. So we don't have, there was mail. It could be a bill. I do not know if the IRS wrote into the mail.
Well, someone sold me and Heather's business credit card and had a heyday at Marc Jacobs last week.
Accidentally. You misused a word, your credit card.
Because you make me use it. It makes it look like I'm insane because you never use yours.
Yeah, so here's the thing. So, like, I get a text from the work phone, which we never...
My heart is very tender.
Corrie... so we have this work phone that Corrie and I basically give to everybody with never the intention of answering it. Because if you don't have our direct phone number, you're probably soliciting spam or something like that, right? Yep. So, I was going to go on a trip, so I usually take it to play podcasts on. I know, just wild. But I look down, and it's like Navy Federal and Credit Union, and they're like, "Hey, did you spend $91.84?" at Fashion Nova. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this is how one twin goes off the deep end, robs the other from their money. Fashion Nova is a weird one. So I text Corey like, hey, got a date? Corey's like, no.
A date with my mixer tonight.
So I said, well, I got this, charge from Fashion Nova. So log into the account. These people were having this, they're balling on a budget, but that budget was ours. So
they lit it up. There was so many charges.
So many times. They went to, which sounds benign, like, oh, Chick-fil-A. No, they catered meals from there because there was over $150 in each.
They ordered prom dresses.
So immediately I text Navy Federal back. No, they immediately call, and this nicest guy in the world is like, hey, I'm just going to go through some charges. And just reading through these things, and I'm like, yeah, none of that is me. He's like, oh, are you at Marc Jacobs right now and spent $587? I said, buddy, I can only dream.
It was a bad day.
The biggest, when we asked him what we could do to prevent this, he said, I know you're going to hate this answer, but pay inside the building of a gas station. Do not use the pumps.
Especially during this time of year.
So definitely going to still be using my credit card at the pump.
But I'm going to be more vigilant.
I'm going to be cognizant of my mistakes.
All right. Well, that takes us to the marketing minute. And I would like to touch on, I know we touched on it way back in the day, but I can see as people are in the group, they're like, hey, I did this, now what? And it is groups versus pages. Which one should you have? Which one should you not have? And I actually see a lot of people ask, hey, should I do a group? Should I do a page? I know pages has like throttled reach. Groups just seem to be the heyday. What if someone doesn't want to join my group? What do? The answer that we'll always suggest is to have both.
If you can be on both.
If you can be on both. Active on both. The reason why is you cannot advertise on Facebook unless you have a page. People can see your work if you have a page. They can scroll through. They can read your reviews if you have a page. There's lots of pros to having a page. I have pros for page. You can advertise. People can find and stalk you without actually having to do any actions with you. You have a feed of just your work, so like a highlight reel of your stuff, and you can have reviews.
Also, buttons and autoresponders.
Emails, Messenger,
connecting
everything.
Instagram to it.
Yeah, so there's a lot of pros to having a page. Does it have throttled reach? Yeah, a few years ago, pages used to be the heyday where you could reach a ton of people with a simple post, but now it is more pay to play, unless you have engaging content. So say if you're just starting out, it's going to be a little bit harder. You're not going to have a ton of reach because you're only reaching a fraction of the people who actually like your page. So if we're doing ratios, what's the percentage of people you'd reach?
They say it's around 2%.
So if you had 10 followers, you'd be reaching 2.
And so it's 20%.
Oh,
you'd be reaching like the big toe.
You'd be reaching your mom.
Right in their ear.
That's so rude.
Anyways. All I can see is a little red line, just like literally. I think it's
if
crying.
If you put something over that, you wouldn't see it at all. Like another screen on top.
Okay, so if you could only have a page or a group,
which one should you do?
You. Yeah.
Me?
Opinion.
I would say.
I'd say it depends on your
goals. Okay, so I only have a page, and that's because I don't think I could manage a group on top of all of my daily tasks that I already have. So my other groups. So if I had a group just tied to my page, I think I wouldn't be able to keep the momentum up. So that's why I just have a page. It works for me. I have sales, but there's so many positives to having a group as well. And that is because groups have like this infinity reach right now. We're in the heyday of groups. Facebook is pushing groups, so they are giving groups a lot of reach. I like groups because you can go in there and you can kind of be yourself, and you don't necessarily, like, Heather's not going to see me like drool over someone else's bulldog because she's not in the bulldog group. So I could
level of privacy.
Level of privacy. So you can be yourself, let your guard down. Someone's not tracking you and everything you're saying. So that's why groups are a little bit of a benefit.
I think right now the reach on groups is much higher than pages, and I don't think that will be in perpetuity. I think Facebook is trying to grow that aspect of its business, and whenever Facebook is investing in something, it's because usually they're about to monetize it. But in the meantime, it is the golden hour of growing those types of things. Like people who got on Instagram first had a leg up than the rest of us.
Right.
People in groups right now, I think we're seeing that
Just go on. Keep going.
People who got in groups right now, they're kind of, just like a sugar cookie marketing group. A lot of this stuff is organic reach, which on Facebook is a rare thing when we say organic.
I think it's 100% organic reach. We're not.
But somebody tagging us in a comment isn't as organic as somebody searching. It just, Facebook would rather show you a group post than it would show you a page post.
And if you go to a group, say if you went to Sugar Cookie Marketing Group and you started scrolling through, you never seen one ad.
There's no ads. There's no breakdown of the vibe once you're in there, and the content. So right now, I agree that I don't think you should have a group. So a lot of people, I guess, struggle with what their group should be about.
So I have some things that you can do. In your group, it needs to be private. If it's a public group, I never join it because I can read all the content without getting the annoying notification. So making your group private and exclusive will create that FOMO. People will want to join it more. And then creating exclusive content. Your member entry questions, you should be asking for their birthday. You should be asking for their email address.
And why? You should be transposing that to an Excel spreadsheet because it goes away once you click accept.
Yes, exactly. So creating an email list, awesome. When Facebook goes down, you still have access to these people. And then showcasing things like when it's their birthday each month. Hey, Jenna, I just wanted to wish you a happy birthday. And you're bringing these people back to the group and you're making it about them versus always about you. Groups, as you know, we have group jokes if you're a part of Sugar Cookie Marketing, and that helps create a vibe and an essence of the group.
Target crates.
Yeah, target crates.
But that's a good point. So because I would say that a business page is more of a broadcast and a group is more of a conversation.
Yeah.
So if you have both a group and a page and the post and the both are exactly the same, you're not using those tools correctly.
Yes.
It has to be an incentive, a cool kids club is your group where everyone gets insider information. They get to pick which cookie cutter you use next. They get to vote on the hot cocoa bomb flavors. And the page says, hey, these are the hot cocoa bomb flavors my VIP group came up with, and here's what we'll be selling this year.
If you did a pre-sale that sold out in the group, your page should say, guys, I had this pre-sale, but unfortunately we sold out in my group. Better luck next time. If you haven't already, join the group here. And what you're doing is creating a fear of missing out, but you're also giving exclusive content. How often should you'd be posting in a group versus your page? I would say you would need to post in a group daily. And it doesn't always have to be like, look at this cookie I made. It can be a funny meme. It can just be a question. What do you guys got going on today?
Polls. You can do polls and group stuff.
Yeah. There's so many
Facebook
things.
Lives and groups do really well.
Facebook Live. If you were getting ready to do a pop-up and the night before you did a live on what you're going to be offering there, I swear people would show up to buy from you.
Yeah.
But that's what you need to be offering in your groups. It can't just be a identical look to your page because there's nothing in there for your end user. They're not getting anything extra. They could literally just follow your page and be getting that same content.
So I know, hey, step away from the keyboard, guys. I know you guys are saying, well, I have a group and I get no reach. Listen, engagement breeds engagement. If you're not writing, let's say if I ask Corrie a question like, hey, what's your favorite flavor?
Caramel.
And all I do is like that.
Ooh. Well,
end of conversation, right? So like, oh, caramel. Yeah, I have a great recipe on that. Here's some things I made I thought were really neat. And here's some things I made that were terrible. Have you ever tried making XYZ?
Right. Now there's a conversation.
Right.
I will be like, oh, yeah, blah, blah, blah. I have tried that.
So I would tell, like, oftentimes, and yeah, I'm going to dog on a couple of you here. When I hear, hey, I don't have engagement on Instagram, I don't have engagement on Facebook, I look at their pages. You haven't replied to anybody. You've made it about yourself. By not replying to people, you have made it again about yourself, and you will never, ever succeed in marketing, exceed your budget if you don't make it about other people. And that's in relationships too.
Yeah. When me and Heather first started Sugar Cookie Marketing Group, it was literally, I invited Heather into the group and then we had a conversation in the group. If you need to invite your cookie bestie
Please note she's like sitting across from me in the room while we're having these conversations in the group just to breed that engagement.
I'm yelling at Heather, hey, just answer the question I just asked.
Right. Because engagement, I guess it all comes down to when you don't pay anything, you're the product. And Facebook's product is the user. And the user stays on the platform more if the content is engaging. So Facebook says, hey, content creator, are you going to create engaging content? Oh, you're not? Mm-hmm. Don't worry about it. I'm not going to show anybody. You're driving my user base away. And then it turns to the other user who said, hey, wow, this looks like people really like it. And then you get more people to like it and more people to like it. And then Facebook like, wow, this is keeping a lot of people on my platform.
Have you ever been active in a group so much that now it seems in your feed you only see stuff from that
100%.
group?
Have you noticed this? Absolutely agree. When you join a group in the first...
It's a tester.
Yes.
Yeah.
In the first, maybe I'll say 4, 8, 12 hours, you'll start seeing a predominant influx of posts from that group. And Facebook is shopping around your interest in the content. So like, okay, yeah, I joined these snake groups for snake care and herpetology. And when I first join, it'll be like, hey, look at this, look at that, look at this, look at that. And if I stop engaging, that group will no longer be in my feed.
Yeah, but you'll still be a part of that group. But now you're this dead member that they literally cannot reach unless they tag you.
Yeah, so the way they can kind of reach you is get a trending meme. Then when that content does really well in a group that you've been a dead member of, Facebook will come back around again and be like, hey, you interested in this? Now, if I click on it, share, laugh, react, comment, you're going to start seeing more posts from that group for an interim amount of time while it tests you again.
Right. So that's why it is great to bring your ideal audience, people that would engage with your content. But when you're just starting out, it is okay to bring your bestie from California into the group. She's not going to buy from you, but what she can do, and if you ask politely, I'm sure she'll engage with your content. She'll produce that engagement while it is considered fake. No one knows. Nobody knows.
So answering a question.
Heather comments on my stuff in groups, and even though we have the same last name, no one's reading my name. No one's reading her name.
Well, the way to keep it authentic, I was like, oh, wow, twin, really impressed with this.
Heather's like, can I get the leftovers? I'm like, boo there, they got your name on them.
So while I didn't lie and be like, stranger with my same last name, I would buy these at an extremely high price.
Stranger with my same face.
Am I your account? We'll never know. But what I say is like, oh, Corrie, these look really nice. Who are they for? What was the plan with these? And, even some of them, I printed the cookie cutter on. I'm like, wow, I did really well.
Yeah. So having that conversation with either a spouse, your mom, your sisters, and your best friends, they can get your group off the ground. And then you can slowly be like, hey, thanks for your hard work. I'm going to release you.
Right. So it's called manufacturing engagement. And if you're not manufacturing it, you will not get it.
Right. So that is why we say have a page and have a group. You can tie your group to your page. It's great when you get group members. They can go look at your reviews and your Facebook page and like vet you that way. But having a group, you can really get engagement and you can stay in front of that target audience. It's not like a page where you barely reach anybody. A group right now is the best place to reach the most people on the platform. But the caveat being, if you do not think you can keep up with it, nothing is harder to do than bring back a dead group.
Oh, yeah. It's such a pain.
Yeah.
People are thinking, I know your next question is, well, how do I drive people to initially join? I can't start a conversation if no one's there. A great way to do it is don't overthink this. Next person who picks up your custom order, shoot them an email and say, hey, if you want to make this icing recipe on your own, or I have this cool buttercream icing recipe, it's the pin post in my group. You just click here to join, answer the questions, and then you can access that recipe.
Yeah, or you can do, guys, I know, a simple cookie is easy to make if you just flood it and wrote happy birthday on it. Hey, I have a cookie of the month birthday club. If you join my group, you get a free cookie on me. Something like that. If you really want to bring those paying customers where you want them the most.
Right, again, but you have to be active. And if you're not active, you are not allowed to turn to Sugar Cookie Marketing Group and be like, what gives? What gives is you didn't give your time. That's what gave.
Right.
And you got exactly what you put into it.
And another thing, if you have a page and you already have followers, I do not suggest just inviting everyone who has liked your page to join your group. You need active people. Dead weight is just that. It's going to drastically drop your engagement rate of that group, just inviting people willy-nilly. Sometimes people invite me to their groups and I feel guilty not joining, but I know that I'm not good for that group. Like, I'm never going to buy from you, but I'm going to join the group. So next time I see you in person, you won't say, well, you never joined my group.
Here's a question I see coming up more and more often. Facebook's in a transition period between what we used to be called Facebook page likes and what is becoming exclusively page followers. So initially, when Facebook pages came out, you could like the page. Mm-hmm. Then Facebook realized that some people wanted to like a page but never actually see the content from it. So you could like the page but also unfollow the page, which is the true unreachable user because there is nothing you could possibly do to get back in front of their faces.
I could not run an ad to a page follow. I could only run an ad to a page like.
So Facebook looks back at the platform and says, wow, there's a lot of people liking pages that still unfollow it, and it's creating a lot of dead weight and throwing off the algorithms because you may have 1,000 followers, but let's say 700 unfollowed it, you're only reaching 300, but your rate of how many people you have versus how many people want to see what you have is very off. So Facebook said, okay, we're getting rid of that weird dynamic of like versus follow, and it's just going to be all follows, which means if your follower count is less than your like count, you will lose those numbers. And it sounds bad, but it is a blessing because you're getting rid of what I'm going to call the riffraff who didn't want to hear from you anyways.
I oddly have a bunch of people stalking me. They did not like my page, but they follow it.
You guys are going, they're going to be forced into it.
Good.
They're going to be forced into seeing your content.
Little stalker people.
Yeah. So they will become a part of your numbers.
Yes, because there's a surplus of follows versus my page likes.
Now, I see if you don't see that now, what I see is like as I'm creating properties for various clients and for sugar cookie marketing, as you create a new page, you're going to fall automatically into this, what they're calling the new page experience. So like even I created a new Facebook group yesterday. It has a lot more functionality than the sugar cookie marketing group had that was created a year ago.
Anyone who has an old page went from reviews now to this weird recommendation. So all your reviews look like you don't have any. But that's because recommendations rolled out. So it's this weird in between.
They say at any point there's about 7 iterations of Facebook floating around, and we're all in one of them.
I'm in like 2 ago.
Okay. Yeah. So, as you kind of see like different, if somebody says, oh, this new feature and you don't see it, you're just in 2 different environments.
Oh, well, I'm in the old environment.
But, yeah, so I agree. I think if you can't be present in a group, don't have one. But if you can be present in a group, then do. And really, I don't know what to post. You need to sit down and create a content strategy, typically based off of content buckets and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Have some direction because people will respond really well to consistency.
Yeah. And for the content, don't always make it inward. Don't say, here's my latest review. Here's my latest cookie set. Here's where I'm going to be next week at this farmer's market. It has to be asking them questions about themselves. We love talking about ourselves. So why not capitalize on that and ask them those questions?
I'm going to be at the farmer's market next week. What are some vendors that I have to stop by?
Show me what your kids dressed for as Halloween. I need to see them.
Right. Any ideas of how I can use this cookie cutter in another way? You're asking them. A great way to see if you are self-centric is do all of your sentences start with the word I and include the word me. And it's hard to be self-aware sometimes because self-awareness means that you can see your problems. And most of us can't see our problems. That's why we have them.
Yeah.
But yeah, just to be aware. If you have a conversation with somebody, if you have a conversation with somebody and you walk away and you don't know anything about them, you talk about yourself a lot. If you walk away from a conversation and they know nothing about you, but you know a ton about them, you are a great conversationalist.
And they are bad.
They are terrible. But a lot of us are very starved for attention. We're very starved to be able to talk about ourselves. Most people aren't asked about themselves enough.
Yeah.
So this side...
the marketing side is ask them about themselves and watch people just, you'll be able to have to like hit engagement off with the bat. It'll be so much.
Right. So keep your focus on your bottom line instead of yourself. Mm-hmm. And that's when your goals are aligned with your business mentality. It all starts to work.
Yeah. And we're not saying don't share your creations and stuff, but instead of being like, thank you, Betty, for having your 97th birthday. I enjoyed making the cookies. Say, what are you going to do when you turn 97? What is the first thing you're going to do on the cruise ship?
Yeah, right? Exactly. So make it an outward marketing ploy and not about yourself. Again, like, do you see product marketing? Buy my stuff. Because here's how it will help you. When I think of skincare, it helps with your wrinkles. It helps with your crow's feet, things like that. Does it help take off the 97 years that I feel? No, darn it.
But that is what I just wanted to touch on it again. Groups versus pages is big. A lot of people are coming and they're like, okay, I made a group, now what? So go in it with some strategy. Don't just be willy-nilly with it.
If you created the group and you realize you just don't have time for it, do not feel like a failure shutting it down.
And you can archive it. Can you just
pause them now? I just delete it. If you're not going to be active on it, just put it out of misery. I'm a death.
Okay, that's our marketing minute.
Okay, in the business of baking, I was in Michigan this weekend in a county where I'm sure all Forensic Files episodes took place.
Misha, can I get an airplane out of here?
No, you're stuck. Sincerely, Southwest. But it was called
What part of the mitt were you in?
Oh, yeah. The pinker. I was in the 4th finger of the left hand. So it was Allegan County. I'm sure some of you was like, oh, I had a cow out there because that was the only thing that was living out there.
I thought you meant like a cow, like I had just an attitude. A complete cow.
Cows had attitude. But so we did a horseback ride thing, which is crazy.
What a weird thing for you to do.
Don really wanted to do it, and it was fun. But the horses were like, I hate that you're on me. I know I'm going to be walking in this line that I've walked a billion times. But
so you weren't really doing anything. You were just literally just riding on them.
I was the front horse behind the guy who owned the horses. So my job was to talk to this man.
You weren't just like looking up his horse's bun hiney. You were.
No, my horse's nose was up his horse's bun. Like I even said, dude, if he stops short, you're gonna have a time. You are not going to do very well. My horse had a pee. So, I was like, dude, we're gonna get left behind.
Because he left to go potty.
He just stopped.
What about to remind you?
They hit my horse's butt, and his horse kept going. And, excuse me, sir, we're stopping. No potty break. So we're on the. I even had to Google it. It was a horse breed in the Alps called a Haflinger. And the guy was super proud of
Heather wasn't in the Alps. She was in Michigan. The horse was from the Alps.
Went on exotic. No, the horse apparently lived for 35 years. Average horse life is 25 years. Mine was 24.
No one here to go to the bathroom. His kidneys were failing.
Okay. Excuse me. A little. Okay, so my horse stopped to pee. Let me read on. Okay, so this is the thing. So the farmer Dan was the guy who owned all the horses.
Was his name really Dan?
Yep.
Farmer Dan?
I added the farmer.
Okay.
So he had 28 horses, 2 dogs, and 3 cats that looked like they'd lived through some...
Barn cat?
Yeah. Barn cat?
A barn cat?
Oh, they said bar cat. So I guess he could have had a rough life and turned to alcohol.
A barn, no.
So, obviously it was a 45-minute horse ride.
45 minutes of just going in a line?
Of the horse's butt in front of me.
Stopping to take a pee break. No wonder you had to go to the bathroom.
But it was so muddy because like apparently it's just extremely...
Did he slip and slide?
Yeah, and they didn't want to. So what they do is they walk off the path. So the guy was like, do not let them walk to the right. That's my new hay. So I'm like, okay. So then he's like, also don't go too far to the left. There's a huge embankment. And I'm like, brother, your horses don't want to stay on the line. They want to step on the hay. And I don't want them to step next to this apparently treacherous. And he was like, yeah, I just really don't want anyone to kill the hay. So anyways, Farmer Dan was talking and he was like, a lot of people like to pretend they know it all. He's like, but you can't tell them otherwise. I've had these horses for so long. I know a lot about them. They just don't fall over and die. But people, he's like, I have, a friend of mine has a horse.
Drawn carriage?
Where like where you have your horse live and you don't own the barn?
Like an RV park for horses?
Yes, okay, the horse RV park. And he was like, people are constantly telling him, he said, the same breed of horse that I have here, they're saying that the horse needs a blanket every other
day.
5 hours. No.
Oh.
So he's like, yeah, these horses were bred in the Alps. They love it. They do really well. He said, my horses have the option to go in and out of a barn, but their horses, they're just so high maintenance. So instead of complaining about it, he says what the guy does at the horse RV park, he says, it's $10 for me to switch out the blanket.
Oh, so you charge $10 every 5 hours?
Yeah, so he doesn't care how many times you want to change.
He probably wants you to ask.
Mm-hmm. So every day he's changing out the horse blankets for $10. So, anyways, this guy says, Farmer Dan, he says, I can walk into a cow pasture and I can tell you exactly the temperament of the owner based off of how the cows react. He said, if the cows are very skittish when I get there, the owner is going to be a very anxious person. He said, if the cows are very upset, the person's going to be a very angry person. He said, if I walk into a cow pasture and the cows don't even care about me, the owner is going to be a very relaxed person. He goes on to tell a story that he got 2 of his horses to look different than the other horses. And he said, yeah, because they were given to me. I was like, well, that's kind of crazy. He's like, no, what happened is that they were trained so poorly, they became dangerous, which means that they would kick you in the face. Oh. That's how dangerous they were. So he said, what leads to that? He said, it's bad relationship practices, never, unbridled horse fun. So he said that the lady who owned them would walk into the stable with a treat.
Yeah.
And the horse would kind of bite at her to get it. So she was like, okay. So then the horse realized, oh, if I kind of bite at her, I get it sooner. I don't have to do anything.
Why? Because she's like tossing it at him?
Then she started tossing it because she got scared that they would bite her finger. So the horse said, wow, the meaner I get, the sooner I get my food and the least amount of things I have to do. So the horse became more and more angry because he knew he got his food the way he wanted it.
And she became more and more shy.
Fearful. Yeah. So it only reaffirmed that if this horse continued doing what he was doing, he was going to get his way. Then her husband comes in and he was a very angry man. So he started beating the horses. So now you have horses that were very angry and also very scared of people.
Oh, recipe for disaster.
Right. So he said the horses were unrideable. They were almost unmanageable. So she said, please take them. I'm so sorry. And unironically, they got to divorce the husband and the wife because of their temperament issues.
Yeah.
So Dan was like, hey, this is how I did it. I have very well-trained horses, so I put these crazy horses with my horses. So I walk in with the pellet feed that they really like. And he said, I looked up and that horse's foot was right next to my head. He never kicked. He said, but if he had kicked it, I would be dead right now. He said, so how was I going to make a dangerous horse not dangerous?
Yeah.
He said, I wasn't going to punish them, but I wasn't going to reward their bad behavior either.
Yeah.
He said, so I'd walk in with my horse pellet feed. I'd get one of my horses, feed them from the bucket. Next horse, feed them from the bucket. Get to her horses, ears are pinned back. He said, no, pull the bucket away. And I'd switch their feet, like scooch it back.
Okay.
Next day, I do it again. This, that. Finally, the rambunctious, dangerous horses were like, well, I would really like some of that feed. So ears up, takes a small bite. Okay, he said by the end of 2 weeks, the horses were so comfortable that they weren't going to be punished, and they were going to be rewarded for not being mean, dangerous, that they've just fell in line. He said it only took 2 weeks to undo years of bad behavior. And then he said all that to say that consistency in dealing with any human or animal is the key to getting what you want.
Bring it back to marketing. I see it a mile away.
So when you have a client and you're just saying, this client, I just can't
they're not respectful of my time. They're always late.
There's something you're doing that's letting them know that behavior is okay. And you've got to pull back the reins, horse bun, and kind of
reel them in. Fish bun.
to kind of retrain them. So I was listening to this book on, I think it's called How to Deal with Screwed Up People. That's the name of the book.
You're reading it because of me.
Hello.
Help me.
Look at the index to the Corrie. Page 3. But she was like, in relationships, we're like, they're screwed up people. And she's like, people can only be screwed up to you if you allow them to be. So she's like, find somebody who presses your buttons. And then ask yourself, why do you have buttons available for them to press?
Amen.
Right. So you have these people who are just constantly, got their ears pinned back. They're mad at you when they can't come late. They're upset when you enforce any boundary. And you've got to just kind of say, hey, this is what it is. Train your clients.
And people are weird when you say the word train your clients. It's just whatever. Teach your clients, train your clients, whatever you want to say. It's the same thing. Back when I meant to say
horse whip your clients and put a bridle on them.
Another horse one. Back when I first started, I was very much shy in my cookie business. I would let people be late. It put me out, and then it started eating my profits. So when they were late the first time, I was mad. When they were late the second time, I was more mad, but that was now on me. So on Saturday, I had a cookie pickup. My pickups were between 10:30 and 2 on Saturday. And I had given this lady the address 3 times in total, but a week before. So she knew exactly where to come. She plugged it in the morning of, and she's like, oh my goodness, you're so far away. Can you meet halfway? No, I'm sorry. I cannot meet halfway. She says, I know your thing ends at 2, but my party doesn't start till 3:30. Can you meet halfway after? I said, no, I cannot. And guess who made it between 10:30 and 2?
It's amazing. But I guarantee you, a lot of people would be like, well, she only asked if she really needed it.
In my little heart of heart, in the bottom little section of my heart, I said, but Corrie, could you possibly meet halfway? And then I said, no. You did everything you were supposed to do. You gave her the address. You gave her the times. She has a vehicle just like I have a vehicle. And she can make it. If you want these cookies, it is a luxury thing.
Absolutely. I had an annoying ex-boyfriend. If he's listening...
He's not. He's listening to himself.
So he would do something. So we often project ourselves onto other people. So I'd never ask somebody to meet me halfway. They must be really desperate for us to meet halfway because they must be so busy, because I wouldn't have done that. And I'd only ever do it if I was really, truly desperate.
Yeah.
But once I met Rob, I was really like, no, they're really self-centered.
We're naming people?
Robert, you taught me a lot. But Rob, okay, so he was really in airplanes. We knew a lot of pilots, and this guy had this insane jet, a jet.
The L-39.
Yeah, I think it was the L-39 he wanted to start up, or he asked him to do the Harrier, which is the hovering jet. He's the guy who owned it. So I think with the L-39, Rob had said, hey, owner, can you turn it on? Like, turn it over. Start up. And he was like, it cost me, $300 to just turn the key.
Just for the gas that it took.
Yeah. And Rob's like, yeah. And the guy looks at him and is like, okay, yeah, I'll start it up. And then I said to Rob in the car, I said, why would you have put him in the predicament to have to start up a $300 a second airplane?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, he would have told me no if you don't want to do it.
No.
Because so you got to understand that a lot of these people who do these things where you're like, I'd never do that. They do it all the time. And they expect you to tell them no because that's what they're used to.
Yeah, shoot your shot kind of people.
Hey, if you don't ask, the answer's no. So, hey, would you start the plane? And you got to be like, no, it's $300 to start the plane. If you want to give me $300, I'll start the plane.
Yeah.
But a lot of us think like, I wouldn't have done that, so they must not be doing it. Only they have that. They really have to.
I do have that sometimes in my mind. I'm like, they would only ask for delivery if they really, truly needed it. And then I step back and I'm like, no one needs cookies.
No one does, right. So you just kind of gotta train your clients. You can't project on them. At the end of the day, I think humans are hard to deal with because we can speak. But how are you going to train your dog? If your dog is jumping on you, you let it do that. There's just, well, my dogs were rambunctious. Yeah, because you let it do that. I've seen enough TikToks of these trainers figuring out how to get a dog into the cage with a piece of cheese to know that dog problems are just people problems.
Are you saying my dog's ill-trained?
Your dog is not trained.
Hey, he will give a high five. Hey,
horse fun. You brought it back, kids. So, anyways, back to that. Corey's dog is not trained, but he loves a piece of cheese.
He will give you a high five for a cheese. He will also say please for a piece of cheese, and he will sit.
For cheese.
Cheese.
So, anyways, give your clients some cheese. But, yeah, rewarding clients who do what you want. Somebody said that they told their clients, hey, if you show up on time, you get a free thank you cookie. It's beautiful. Sends a picture of it. Which I never have somebody showing up late. They all want that cheese.
That's genius.
Genius.
Cheese cookies.
It's
that say thank
genius.
You. Wait,
it's not great.
It's not. I'm gonna allow it.
Okay, it wasn't my best, but
it wasn't. But it's also 5 o'clock.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Oh wait, here because we're late. Okay, so the course today is November 3rd. We've added a new part of the course that is pretty cool. I think it's called digital downloads.
Explain what a digital download is, Bipcakes.
We find that a lot of people are like, hey, I want to post to my social media. I just don't have time to come up with content. I don't like the design. It's all just repetitive. So what we created was 12 posts for a month. So that's 3 posts a week, which we find does really well to kind of keep up consistency. You can schedule them out all in one day through Creator Suite. But the digital downloads are templates that we build out and give to you in Photoshop. Don't be scared. And in Canva, free version. So we give you the templates. Each month you get the 12 posts. I think we have it set for $10. And you get 12 posts. So less than $1. And it's all built out. All you have to do is change the text if you want to. If not, leave it the way it is. Add your own photography and click the upload button. So the digital downloads is monthly subscription. It's $10. You can sign up on thecookiecollege.com. At checkout, it'll ask you about the Cookie College or this digital download option. Now, I just built November's.
Yes. So this would be the 3rd month. So she's done.
Yeah, no, if you signed up today, you could go back and download the past months. They are themed kind of towards that month. So September's is fall and October's Halloween. But you'd have the content ready for next year.
Yeah. So if you were thinking ahead.
Yeah. So I think our concept for November, and I also walk you through how to make the changes and download everything and edit it. But the concept we wanted to do for November is thankfulness.
Thankfulness. Yes. Heather put my picture in about 12 of those. So. Because you're thankful for her stuff. It is also our birth month.
Corey.
And I make a big deal about it.
Corey, this does, one will be 33. No one cares.
But listen, this is the only year this will happen. Okay. Our birthday is on November 22nd, but we are twins, and our birthday is 112288, and we'll be 33.
We'll be 44 in 11 years.
10 years!
We'll be 30, this will not be around. Here's the thing. It's our birthday month that nobody cares about because we're adults. And Corey moves around. Like, she gets, all now. Even today, she's like, what are we doing? What are we going to do? And then the week before her birthday, she gets super mopey. And I had to treat her like my wife, and we go to the movies.
No one remembers my birthday. But one year, me and Heather took all those free birthday things you get in your email, and we like went to
I saw this
diner.
I saw this hack, and it says create a dummy Gmail for your birthday and sign up for everything, and just wait the next year, and you get free. I think you get DSW gives you $5 off.
$10, man.
$10, and IHOP gives you free stack.
Free fat stack.
I have a bunch. Chili's does something. So you could essentially do like what is it when you travel around and eat? Traveling dinner of birthday appetizers.
Whatever that is.
So,
So if you would like to send anything to the mailbag before the 22nd, this is your time to
They're going to
shine.
be like, you don't even check the mailbag anyway.
Yeah, I gotta check it. My new credit card's in there.
Yeah, you need to go check it. Okay. If you want to see what the digital downloads look like, you can go to Instagram.com, the Cookie College. I upload them there. So it's just the Cookie College Instagram handle is really just a place for us to test those digital downloads at.
Yeah.
Voicemails. I got a text that says, "Hi, ladies. Love your podcast. I'm just getting ready to launch my business, and I was wondering your thoughts on using Pinterest to get people to your website or Facebook. I don't think it's seen it discussed in the group." That's a great question. It hasn't been discussed in the group because I haven't spent enough time learning Pinterest. However, I can weigh in my options here, like my opinions, my options. Pinterest is a directory. It is a search engine. So on Pinterest, you search, and instead of finding links to websites like you do on Google, you find images, which is really awesome. And I know Pinterest has a lot of value in driving traffic. Now I'd like to think of it this way. Who on Pinterest is searching for cookies? Typically, it's clients looking for inspiration photos to send to their cookier. So who would be an ideal person to put content there? Probably somebody who's
Cookiers who can ship.
Cookiers who can ship. It's somebody who's selling cookie cutters to cookiers. It's somebody who's selling courses.
Yeah.
Things like that. Now, would I tell somebody don't be on Pinterest? Again, it comes back to the Facebook group thing. If you can be active on it, sure. Will it drive traffic to your website? For sure. Will it bring traffic that converts? That I'm not sure for a lot of local cookiers will be the thing. Now, here's the thing. Is website traffic great? Absolutely. So now maybe we would connect the image to a blog post on something related to cookies and have that bring traffic, which would in turn bring up the SEO of the website. And a lot more strategy to it.
It can show up in SERPs, search engine results pages, and push your competition a little bit lower.
Things like that. So if your website's doing well, especially on sites like that, it's going to rank well locally. It's a little bit of a farther funnel than just posting a photo and making a sale, because I don't think that's what's going to happen.
I think you got to have some descriptions and some captions and stuff.
But again, who's looking on Pinterest? I think it's a person just looking for inspo photos. I think it's other cookiers.
Yeah.
But now if we can create a blog post and drive traffic, even if that is cookier traffic to our blog, then that's going to help the overall health of the website.
Like it.
Okay, we have one voicemail.
Hi, twins. This is Sammy from Sweet Sammy's Creations. I have a question about the Thursday pod that we're going to be doing. I'm curious, should I be posting on Thursdays before that time, or should I link the post that I did the day before? I'm just curious what you think would be the best option. Maybe I'll try both. Thanks.
Okay, so Amy's actually in the Cookie College. That's where this question is coming from. That's a great question regardless, though. It's a great question for everybody. So what she's asking is, because the Cookie College is much smaller and we've limited it to, under 300 people, it's very easy for us to manage going around and liking each other's posts, right? It's easy for Corrie to monitor and make sure everyone's doing what they said they do. So on Thursday, we're posting up posts to Facebook and everyone's going to go through and engage with each other. Now she's saying, should I be posting before and after that? The answer on any social media platform is if you're about to make a big post, the day before, the day after, and the day of, you should be engaging across the social media channel. So if on Instagram, I'm launching my pop-up on Thursday, your butt best be on Instagram all Wednesday, all Thursday, and all Friday, commenting, liking, engaging, so that those people come back to your profile and see that content. Now to answer Amy's question about this pod specifically, what is it? What's a cat?
I'll let her in people.
To answer this question about the thing, because this is manufactured, no, outside of really just engaging with the rules of engaging with people around you, you only benefit by posting before and after because that's going to benefit your audience. So because we're kind of manufacturing engagement on this Thursday post, your Friday post should probably be something that's more like, hey, I'd really like to sell out of this thing. I'd really like to announce this pop-up because you're going to be riding off the engagement high of the day prior. Make sense?
Makes sense.
Okay, Corey's letting the cat. Phoebe, we gonna lemon squeezy.
If you would like to call in, please call in. We're running out of stuff. The phone number is 571-556-5644. You can call or you can text. Even if you want to give a shout out, we're doing a month of thankfulness, like gratitude post. If you just want to shout out someone's name, like, hey, so-and-so helped me with the copy on this post, by all means, let us shout them out on the podcast this month. This is a feel good month. I would like to continue it all month long, and it's only the 3rd. So partake, give them a holler, and then we have an email at hello@sugarcookiemarketing.com.
Okay, moving to group stuff. We had some awesome past lives. I'm only going to cover 3 of them, but we've had just so many Facebook lives. The Bake Along Creme Brulee and Lemon Curd with James Martin. I just love creme brulee. I wish you would have taken it. Maybe you could have taught it.
Eventually.
Okay.
I need a flamethrower for the top.
Yeah, that'd be great. Time and organization using Asana with Alondra. Now, that one was absolutely phenomenal. I was able to sit through the whole thing because she builds from scratch on free plan Asana how she handles all her cookie orders.
Excuses.
And it's just, and she said, in her words, I'm not sure what I did before Asana.
Wow.
Yeah, and a lot of people watched that live and went and made their account. Even Laura from the Sugar Cookie Bookies was like, okay, that's it. I'm on it. And then we had bakery cleaning and organization with Bev Hansen, which was really awesome. I wasn't able to tune in myself, but Bev came back and taught people how to make icing. Like, that's how involved she was, and people really loved it. So I can't wait to go rewatch it myself.
Yeah, me too.
You want to cover what's coming up?
We have upcoming events. We have how to ship cookies with Deidre. I'm not even going to try to say her last name. And that is today at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you can catch that if you are, a lot of states just opened up for shipping. If you think your state might open up for shipping, if you're thinking about shipping to your loved ones because you're in a state that can't ship, this is what you want to be a part of. She can ship. She's a pro shipper. She's going to tell you how to package it and what you need in there to make sure that your bakes get where they need to go. We have creating and selling custom cakes with Shanlyn Klein, and that is tomorrow at 7:30.
She just changed that. So it was painting on it, but she was like, no, I'm sorry, she changed it to this. It was painting on cakes, and she was like, hey, I realize that a lot of people don't know how to do cakes at all. So I'd like to start here and build on it. So like, hey, this is how you get started with cakes. And then she's going to kind of make a series bringing you into the cake world. I think she's trying to steal cookie people from us, and I'm all about it. So that will be, what did I say? It was tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
And then creating cookie designs in Procreate. Now, if you don't know what Procreate is, it's an iPad-only app. You have to have it on an iPad, and it's best if you have the pencil or the other one. The pencil is the pressurized one, and the pen. Okay, so either way.
That was a struggle for you?
Apple World. And I something. And she's going to walk us through how to create those cookie designs in Procreate, which I know Procreate had a big update a couple days ago.
Yeah.
That app is just wild. I have no talent. I thought buying it would give me the talent.
You made my logo in there.
Don't go look at Corey. Now, upcoming group challenges and events. We have the Sugar.social at Vanish Brewery. That's next week on Tuesday.
Next week on Tuesday. She has a few more spots left. I got her email.
Oh, that's great. Okay. And it's November 9th. If you're not from our area, don't worry about it. If you are from the area, it's at Vanish Brewery in Leesburg, Virginia, 5 to 8, $20 to attend. But hearing my sweet voice is absolutely free.
Mine will be paid $20.
After that, we have the Meaning of Christmas collab. If you haven't seen the details about it, it's because you haven't missed them. I haven't posted them yet.
Heather loves to bring that one around every month.
We'll just like to have it. Okay, and then should we announce the next tab? What is it?
Yes.
Okay, so Corey and I, if Courtney is listening to this, we're stealing this idea. There's this new popular thing that's happening on Facebook called like these virtual vendor expos, where you create this group that exists, and these vendors come in and they shop you around what they got. So we thought it'd be really fun to do a Black Friday vendor blender. So what we're going to do is see if we can find 10 to 20 people who would love to absolutely sell in the group.
If we do not find enough, it's not going to happen.
Right. So we need 20 vendors, and then we're going to have them like pay into a pool and offer a discount And then they can make a certain amount of posts that day and just kind of show you what they've got for you on Black Friday.
Yeah.
And they can do, I think we wanted to talk about
people who post sales post in the group
you
all
guys,
the time.
I'm talking to you. Come here, baby
you.
girl. So that would be like if you have a cutter shop or if you have a sticker shop or a planner shop or
Scribe shop.
stencils, things like that. And you want to really reach the group. We thought it'd be a fun way to virtually shop around on the biggest shopping day of the year.
Or if you have courses, you know, like if you have like a floral course or something,
that's a
people would
great
eat that
idea.
up. I might eat it up myself.
That's a great idea.
Thanks.
Okay, so I gotta get that set up, and then we gotta get people signing up. Twinterests, Corrie has nothing written here.
Okay, my Twinterest is stupid card tray.
Are you making commissions?
I should be. They have a buy one get one, a BOGO going on right now. I'm mad because I only got the buy one have one.
I want to pay for the other.
But the stupid card tray, honestly, I don't know how my life existed before it. It is
Really?
so handy.
Yeah, I just want to stress to you that Corrie doesn't make any commissions. This is just a joke. She is literally just passionate about this stupid tray. You should see if they have a 10% discount or something.
Oh, maybe I should ask.
It is probably like Boo Berries, half
genius.
off. You buy one, get one.
But they are doing buy one get one. That was my twin.
Okay, my Twinterest is weird, but I asked for it for my birthday.
Yeah, this is so weird.
It's on a TikTok. It's called a Caracorder, and it is a multi-point touch keyboard that allows you to type faster than any known keyboard.
Speed of light.
Right, and so it's only got it's got 10 buttons, 5 for each finger, and depending on how all your fingers move in each direction on that Caracorder, it creates an entire sentence. So the guy is literally typing as fast as he's talking, and just by barely moving his fingers.
He's not even looking at the screen or the keyboard, and it supposedly takes you 4 weeks to learn. And I said, Heather, $10 it ends up in the
Not
closet.
gonna be throwing that receipt away, that's for sure. But they said, like, I don't know, it just seems so neat. But do I need it? No.
But that's what birthdays are for, getting things you don't need.
Great. I want another Phoebe Weeby Lemskeezy that isn't broken and leaves when I start talking.
She back.
Okay, so down to our sponsors. Eddie, Bo Betty. Eddie has something coming out. I'm not allowed to talk about it. I don't think so.
Are you even allowed to say that part?
I just can't. I'm the worst person to be told secrets.
Heather is if you have a secret, don't tell Heather. If you tell Heather you're my favorite twin, she will tell me that you said that.
They said I'm their favorite twin. Yeah, so some, I don't know. Rumor
Keep
mill.
your ears out.
Keep your ears and eyes open. Apparently, it's not going to be a different Eddie. It's just more. Okay. Anyways, moving on. Bakety Bakes.
Bakety Bakes. Bakety Bakes is a meringue powder, and it's made from one of the cookiers over in Idaho. And I honestly really do love Bakety Bakes meringue powder. I will only be using it for the rest of my life.
Corrie doesn't use it on our class people because she thinks they don't deserve it.
I use it other stuff for the class. For myself, I use Bakety Bakes, but it allowed me to be able to write with a fine tip marker on cookies. So yesterday I had to write on 6 different cookies, what will our little pumpkin be? And it will roll like a charm. And there's a discount, 10%, using the code TWINS. That's TWINS. They happen to have a birthday this month on the 22nd at checkout on BaketyBakeIdaho.com.
Okay, cast iron. I got to follow up with Emily about the Snapper contestants because I think she might be under the impression that I'm picking him, and ain't no way I'm
And
picking
you're
him.
under the impression that she's
She won't be picking him. But castiron.me is a e-commerce platform for what I'd like to say, the people who just can't with websites. They make it really easy. So easy, in fact, you can actually have them set up your website for you, which I try to tell Emily.
Heather tried to say, don't do it.
The beautiful thing about Cast Iron is they're very involved in hearing what people have to say about their platform. The way it works is it's 100% free to the baker. The fees are passed on to the buyers, so your clients. Some people are like, "Oh, I wish I could absorb those fees so the clients didn't have to." And Cast Iron was like, "Yeah, okay, that works." And they're constantly making and tweaking changes. Custom order feature. They just sat in the group and said, "Tell us everything you hate about custom orders when it comes to intake form."
Doing
implemented
having custom orders.
People. But they implemented absolutely all the changes that people wanted when it was taking custom orders. And I got to say, if you just are curious, because it's zero cost involved, just go check it out. Emily,
It
she's
cost
in the
you nothing.
It literally costs you nothing. And if no one well, I don't know if I want to pass the fee on. Blueberry, just go check it out. Go check it out and then poo-poo on it like my horse did.
You can make it and never share the link, and no one can ever check out.
Right. But I think it's so tempting because once you see the features that you can say delivery for only this zip code, this much for that zip code, and no delivery for this zip code because I don't want to drive that far.
Wow, you take that weird, awkward, can you please deliver
because
this?
there's no option to ask. They cannot ask.
Or they can sign up and pay the Monet.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. So I think cast iron, just going through the platform, it is cool. But Emily will be doing a Facebook Live on it.
Yeah.
Walking people through it. And then I think if you're in the Cookie College, they're building out the coursework for it.
Yeah, so you'll have a course taking you step by step. She's going to do live, tell you the pros and cons. And then our final thing I have to tell you about, Heather lost her marbles and created a baking group where you can ask heat tailor questions but no marketing questions.
I never thought I'd see the day where I said, this looks like a marketing question. I'm going to delete it. But anyways, Corrie and I talked about it. A lot of people said they really liked the rules of sugar cookie marketing, and they wish it could be a baking group where they could ask the same questions but still have those same type of protections from bullying and harassment.
Where Heather won't delete all of their posts. So
I can guarantee, I'm just going to give you guys a heads up. I'm going to accidentally delete a post thinking it's in the other group.
Yeah, absolutely. Because now they're both blended in that feed there.
I saw a heat seal on my feed, and I was like, never mind.
But tell them what the group's name is.
It's called Baking with parentheses Sugar Cookie Marketing. And they're the same rules apply, no politics, no things like that. Adult themed cookies, use a cover, things like that. But ask your stupid heat sealer questions.
But the one thing we don't want you to do is ask marketing questions in that group. We do want a great divide. And so all marketing of business and sugar cookie marketing group, and then anything baking. So if Heather can't answer it, it belongs in that group. If Heather can't answer it, it's gonna belong.
I'm gonna get delighted. But we thought it'd be a great way to not, some people do just need to know where you got that cookie cutter. And the questions that are a little on the line in the main group can get pushed out to this baking group and make more sense there.
But you violate a group rule in one group, you lose access to all the groups.
Right. So we had somebody make a political post in the main group and lost cookie buggies. Facebook makes it really easy to remove you from all the groups.
Heather doesn't even have to look for your name. It just says, would you like to remove them from everything in your life?
Don't mind if I do. We vote for no politics.
Yeah.
So great. Yeah, that's everything.
Leave them on a downer.
Anyways, guys. What's an upper we can leave people?
What's a horse joke?
You can't put somebody
Hold on. Keep talking. I'm going to look.
Okay. The upper.
Funny horse joke. 17 horse jokes you can't live without.
Okay.
Hold on.
Okay.
That one was inappropriate.
I'm holding on to the reins.
What did the horse say when he fell? I've fallen. I can't. Giddy up.
There's your upper, guys. You don't spend all that joy in one place. You hear? Stop in the morning. Bye, guys.